Scabby
Podcast.
In an ancient hotel in room 142 lay two foolhardy fools with nothing to do. They sit and they ponder about movies they've seen while trapped in their room and stare at their TV screen. Sometimes they play songs on the instruments they've amassed. The Pinj and the Maggie on the Scabby Hayze Podcast.
Welcome to the Scabby Hayze Podcast. This is your co-host Maggie.
And this is your other co-host, Pinj.
And today we're going to be doing a movie review on the just recently released Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, Maggie and I just watched this last night, which was Thursday night.
Yep. So, now that we've had a little bit of time to process the movie and all its detail, we thought we would let you know what we think about it and give you a few little details about it. The first half of this podcast, we're going to try to not bring any spoilers into it, but watch out, there will be spoilers later on. We are going to touch up on some things that happen that will definitely spoil it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it now. I can say this, that it was good.
It was good. This is not for anyone who has never seen a Marvel movie before. This is really only for the Marvel fans. That's about it for people, who've been catching up on these storylines for such a long time, for 11 years really. And, this is kind of the culmination of all of that. So yeah, really only for people that have been keeping up. For people who haven't seen one before, this is not a movie for you, unfortunately.
So to all those Marvel fans out there that are hardcore, that have seen this movie already,
Yeah.
isn't it a shame that Loki turns into Thor and he was Thor this whole time?
I know. Ever since Avengers, he's been Thor the entire time.
Yeah.
It's
when
nuts.
he brought the Tesseract to Earth and...
I know. Brought down the Chitauri. We all thought it was Loki this whole time. It was actually Thor.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Alright. Well, let's talk about first impressions.
Okay.
What did you think?
I thought it was good. This is probably my second favorite Avengers film, with the first one being my favorite Avengers film.
Okay.
It's so good, and it's very rewarding. It is very rewarding as a fan to see very much the third act of this film culminate as it does.
Yeah.
To see so much going on. And even the second act, really. And the first act. It's a very rewarding film for the fans.
Yeah.
Because this is really, as the title implies, the Endgame. This is closure to a lot of stories.
It's the wrapping up of the last 10 years.
Yeah, basically, this is probably going to be known as, the Thanos saga.
Yeah. True.
I also just said the L word, shame on me.
Well, yeah. Shame on you. Okay, well, I'll say I was undecided going into the movie. I would think for a while, I was leaning towards one way and think, well, they could really screw this up and make it a terrible movie if they're going the direction that I think that they're going in. And then I would think a little bit later and say, this could be really epic and a great ending if they're going to do it the way I think they're going to do it. And I was pleased with how it came out. It closed a lot of open doors, and it, like you said, it was just kind of satisfying knowing that it's all over, and that, not that you're glad it's over, just that you're glad the way it ended is, if it was going to have to end it all, it should have ended that way.
Yeah, and this movie provided a lot of surprises for me, because a lot of my guesses as to what would happen didn't happen. I guessed some stuff right, but I was pleased. There were twists and turns that I wasn't expecting and such.
Right, yeah.
It was nice.
So it definitely kept your interest. It was fast-paced, and I was expecting, because of the runtime is 3 hours and 2 minutes, I was expecting there to be long pauses, long duration of scenes where people are, just sitting there and you see them thinking, or you see them, sad or something like that. And really there wasn't.
There were some,
a couple.
But for good reason, for very good reason.
Yeah.
It was necessary that those were there.
Right, yeah. It never felt like, okay, can this scene be over already? Yeah. And maybe, I don't know, I'd have to watch it a second time, but maybe that was just because it was the first time I was watching it, so I wanted to savor every little minute.
It could be.
And I didn't know what to expect, so I just wanted to see what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. But, no, my first impression of the movie was that it was really good. And also, I do have to say that when I watched Infinity War in theater, I didn't like it. And I watched it many times since then and didn't like it. I didn't like the character of Thanos. I didn't like how they set his story up. I really didn't like that everyone dusted. Of course, nobody did, but no, I didn't like Infinity War. But then I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch Endgame and then I'm going to make my decision about Infinity War. And it made me like Infinity War. So, yeah, that has regained my favor.
And we'll get into a little bit more into that, into the story and such, but I want to ask you real quick, what did you think of the cinematography in this film?
I thought it was excellent.
It is really
I liked, because there's so many things going on, that there's a lot of, panning out in the movie and showing the whole picture.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome, and also reminded me of pictures and stuff that you see in, comic books and stuff like that. They looked like the cover of a comic book. Yeah. Like, all these, characters fighting and, I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah. This feels like the closest thing I've ever seen to an actual adaptation of a Marvel comic book. While still being, completely different.
Yeah.
The storyline very much feels like very much feels as if it were straight out of a comic book. I think this is original, as far as I know. But the whole, you know what I'm talking about, but the whole going through aspect that they do is very, very much as if it were straight out of a comic book.
Right.
And the strange, some character arcs are very strange and they're very different, or something that you weren't expecting at all.
Yeah. It
was quite interesting to watch and enjoyable.
Right.
I also enjoy how much the Russo brothers use the camera and what they show so much to tell a story.
Right.
They use it so well.
Yeah.
And this was a massive undertaking. Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, both those movies combined, their budget was around $600 million
somewhere around there
for both of them, which is absolutely insane. And
they had to juggle 70 characters somewhere around there,
right?
And wrap up 10 years of movie making. This is a massive accomplishment that they've pulled off.
Yeah, and I feel like the majority of Marvel fans are going to enjoy it and be like, "This was a good ending to a great trilogy, or not trilogy, a great."
Not franchise, because it's not over.
Oh, it is kind of a franchise.
A saga.
Yeah, to a great saga. Yeah. Should we get into some spoilers?
Yeah, sure, let's get into spoilers.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, first thing I want to mention is how awesome Captain America was in this movie. He was so good.
You know
what? He made the character... I love Captain America. He's my favorite Marvel character. He's my favorite Avenger. But in this movie, made him so much better. He was already great, but they made him fantastic.
You know what I want to add?
He kept all his values. He kept all his strengths, all his powers. And
A little bit more so.
he wielded Mjolnir, or
Yeah.
however you pronounce it, Thor's hammer,
Yeah.
and he was fighting Thanos with his hammer and his shield.
Okay, let's start this off properly. What parts were just completely awesome?
Captain America!
Thanos versus Captain Marvel fight. That was stinking awesome.
Thanos versus Captain America was even more cool because he was fighting him with his
Yeah.
hammer and his shield.
And
And he was hitting him with the shield and then hitting him with the hammer.
Thanos versus Scarlet Witch was awesome. Thor cutting off Thanos' head.
Yeah,
That
that was
awesome.
cool. Captain America fighting Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And also them going back into the 70s. Okay, the whole time travel thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Time travel.
Let's get a little bit organized in our thoughts here.
That was something I wanted to bring up before we started. We should be like, all right, let's not nerding out.
Yeah.
We'll create a whole section for it.
Okay. Alright, so the very beginning is... I thought at first it was going to be, oh, this whole movie is going to be a giant cry fest. Because it is really sad at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
For a worthy
almost, it
cause.
was very close to being a little bit too much. You know, like, 10 minutes into the movie, and like... Who else is gonna cry? Who else is gonna mourn for his family? Because the movie begins is Hawkeye with his family, and Thanos just snapped.
Yeah.
Alright, so the very beginning is... I thought at first it was going to be, oh, this whole movie is going to be a giant cry fest. Because it is really sad at the beginning.
Yeah.
But
For a worthy
almost,
cause.
it was very close to being a little bit too much. You know, like, 10 minutes into the movie, and like, who else is gonna cry? Who else is gonna mourn for his family? Because the movie begins is Hawkeye with his family, and Thanos just snapped.
Yeah.
Hawkeye's children and his wife all get dusted.
Yeah. I think everyone was kind of expecting
then
that. So they got that out of the way.
Then it cuts to Marvel logo, and then straight into...
Thanos getting his head cut off, basically.
Right.
Oh, no, I didn't.
No?
I forgot.
Well, you'll forget.
I forget. They show... Yeah, that scene was awesome. The part where Iron Man and Nebula are playing... Was it paper football?
Yeah, paper football.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, that was really cool.
Or is it called, like, finger football? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like finger football.
Finger football.
Paper... Finger...
It sounds like a
Finger
riddle.
paper football. Or... Finger... Or paper finger football. Say it 5 times fast. Finger paper football. Football. Okay. Finger paper football.
We should talk about the freaky Tony scene.
Yeah,
Where
that's
he's-
true. Where he spazzes out.
Yeah, he spazzes out and he's all skinny. It's a weird,
Well-
way too realistic scene.
He does have a history of, like, panic attacks.
Yeah.
And a slight amount of hysteria. Just because of... I mean, he is a human.
Yeah.
And he went to another planet.
Yeah.
He thought that he lost Pepper. He thought he lost everything. Everyone got dusted. He thought he was out in the middle of space and gonna die. And then this alien comes and grabs the ship and takes him to Earth. So he did go through a lot. And
Yeah.
had kind of a good reason for freaking out a little bit.
Yeah, it's super realistic and it's
Yeah.
weird to watch.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh wow, that's really real.
Almost seems right. Yeah.
Too real. It's like, oh
Yeah.
gosh, that's creepy.
Right. Yeah, he did it very well.
Yeah.
I should also say that there were no bad acting scenes in this movie. Everyone
Yeah.
was absolutely
Uh-huh.
excellent.
Even
Which
Thanos. Thanos brought a whole lot more to the table in
Yeah,
this one.
he did. He did.
Which
He
is weird
wasn't-
to say because he did really well in Infinity War for what he was doing.
He wasn't quite as mopey or monotone.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
This is the 2014 Thanos now that we're dealing with.
After that,
If we go at this pace, though,
yeah, we're never gonna get.
yeah, we're never gonna finish the entire movie.
So then the rest of the movie, well, not the rest of the movie, a very large portion of the movie is them trying to figure out how they're using time travel to go back and get all the Infinity Stones. So they can make the gauntlet again, snap, and bring everybody back.
Mm-hmm. They use the quantum realm to time travel because the quantum realm makes no sense to anyone and they haven't explained it at all. So they use that. They go into the past to grab the Infinity Stones that haven't been destroyed yet. and they meet into like their previous selves and some of their other enemies, and sometimes themselves, or other versions of themselves, and it's crazy and it's nuts and it's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I have to say that was probably my favorite part of the movie.
Really?
Was the time traveling. It was the way that they did it was absolutely genius.
It was, yeah.
And it was perfect. Every detail was absolutely perfect and true to what it has been for the last 10 years.
We will say that we did rewatch some of the Marvel movies before watching Endgame.
Yeah, we
Thor:
did.
The Dark World, Guardians of the Galaxy, few others, but
Civil War.
I'll say that Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor: The Dark World are weirdly kind of
they play a big
integral
role
into the plot.
They're necessary to watch before you watch Endgame.
And they do a good job of keeping with the previous material and not destroying it or anything like that.
Also, you should watch the first Captain America and the third Iron Man. Anyway, moving on.
From there,
After they collect all the stones,
they come back.
And they make the gauntlet, and Hulk, who is also Bruce Banner.
It's a weird mix.
It's an odd mixture.
And I think he keeps the name Hulk, it seems like.
Yeah.
He also says Dab on him, so what the heck.
Yeah, I know.
There's a lot of weird modern references in this movie.
Yeah, but the dab is kind of dead.
The Dab is so 2016. And Fortnite is... Yeah. Okay, 2017. I don't know.
Yeah, it was later than
And then Fortnite was in there. And
it was?
yeah.
When?
That's what Korg is playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
A
Fortnite.
lot of old references then. Because
Kinda.
those aren't, like, popular anymore.
Well, yeah. I guess this movie is technically dated.
It is a little bit. Yeah, because that's
It's
true.
literally dated.
It would have been
Popular
right in when they
2018.
filmed it. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. Anyway,
So it's interesting, but kind of weird at the same time.
let's keep this up. So he snaps, and it
Brings everyone back.
works. It brings everyone back, but it also, through the time traveling, Thanos catches on to what they're doing and comes into the present.
Yeah.
Which is
And
also, we forgot to mention, 5 years after.
Yeah. With his army and tons of people and
Gamora and another Nebula.
Another Nebula, which
who betrayed
everybody
and came back with.
It was awesome because this movie is genius.
And then there was a massive, gigantic fight between every single Avenger
And it was
Thanos,
beautiful.
And it was awesome. And Valkyrie shows up and
Korg is in the fight for a little bit. I saw
Oh, really?
him. Yeah, I was like,
didn't.
oh, it's Korg.
Yeah. I saw M'Baku.
Yeah, M'Baku was in there.
Yeah.
Who else? There is so much going on in that fight.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I really want to rewatch it and just pause and go by frame just to see all that's going on.
Yeah.
There's wizards that Doctor Strange brings, and there's Wakandans. Thanos brings...
Asgardians.
No.
Well, I know there's Asgardians there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thanos brings a Chitauri.
And the dog things from Infinity War.
Yeah.
And he brings his kids.
Yeah.
And it's nuts and it's awesome.
And then Captain America lives out. He goes to the past. He goes time traveling again. Goes to the. He goes back in time to return all the stones to their rightful spots, and then.
So there aren't any different separate realities.
Right, and then lives an entire life again.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, and Peggy is his wife, and they actually finally dance.
Yeah.
And then he gets old and gives his shield to Falcon.
Yeah, so Falcon's gonna be the next Captain America.
Which is cool.
It is cool.
I am exciid for that, because Falcon's a good character, and he kind of deserves it. And not in keeping with the comics, however, Bucky did have a lot of blood on his hands, and he wasn't the most...
I don't know who takes the title of Captain America first in the comics, if it was Bucky or Falcon.
Oh,
they
really?
both keep it
at
one point,
Okay.
So it's not that far off.
So it is in keeping with the comics.
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
I don't know which one took it first, though.
Gotcha. Needless to say, this movie was absolutely epic.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
There was Stan Lee.
Stan Lee cameo was pretty great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What was it?
was real at first because I wasn't looking.
No.
It's like, oh, there goes my chair. Okay, here's a Stan Lee cameo. Quit. Stop. Quit doing that.
Hey, I'm Stan Lee.
No. It says,
Why you?
hey,
don't-
man. Would you...
What is
I hate you. I hate you so much. This is Samuel... Samuel.
The Stammy.
Samuel. The Stan Lee cameo is him saying, hey, man, make peace, not war, because it's 1970s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's all younger, kind of.
Yeah. And so is...
Stop hitting the table! You're destroying this entire episode.
In the 1970s, said Hank Pym is also young. And so is
He looks
Howard
terrible.
Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look terrible. His hair is awful.
And
But
the
it's-
CGI isn't that great either.
Yeah,
really.
not really.
It's like, oh, it's a PS3 cutscene. Or more PS4, I guess, but
Yeah, that's what it
it's
looked
like, oh, man.
It's like, oof.
Yeah.
That's a little rough. They, like, all they had to have done was have him act out the part and then just kind of, like, wipe, you know what?
Wipe his wrinkles.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just smudge his whole face.
But why they, like, CGI...
Stop going in circles. Sit down, you
Why
idiot.
Why did they, like, do his eyes and his mouth and everything?
I don't know. Maybe they couldn't get him.
It was like Leia.
Storyline-wise, this is very sturdy.
It's very well thought out.
Yes.
Genius.
The time travel aspect is not going to interfere with past movies or future movies. This is probably a one-and-done deal, which is great. You know, because Iron Man dies, and he's the one who created the time machine, and Thanos blew the last one existing.
And Captain America already returned all the stones.
Yes. And so there aren't going to be any branching realities. It's all just as sturdy as it was before Infinity War. It's great. The storyline is very well thought out. The rules are explained well. Very, very good.
Mm-hmm. And as far as characters go, all of them still kept their personalities, all kept their character traits, and their suits were awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody's suits were cool.
Yeah.
Except...
Bless you. Bless you.
Okay. Thank you. Except maybe... What'd you think of Hulk's? Because he had a suit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was a little bit weird. Because he is like Bruce Banner and Hulk together, but
He just
why
has
do they need
big
a
clothes.
suit? I know. Well, kind of. No, he has a suit on. It's like a purple and black suit.
Like a suit. Like a
Yeah, like a superhero suit. Like a Zero Suit Samus.
I guess. I don't know. I guess I wasn't paying that much attention to it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah. Ah.
No, he has one.
Okay. I guess I wasn't paying
Hawkeye's
that much
costume is
attention.
cool.
Yeah. Tony's storyline in this
Yeah,
film was
Tony
so sweet.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
was
a daughter?
cool. Yeah, he finally
It's
got
awesome.
a daughter. But he only got her for
I
a
know.
couple years.
It's really sad. He doesn't want to. He's like one of the few people who actually moved on from the snap.
Question, do you think that Morgan's gonna be anybody important?
They could
I
do
mean, she
a
is-
storyline where she becomes Iron Man later in
Yeah.
life, or they could do that. I
Yeah.
don't know if they should though.
Yeah,
I don't know. It all
either.
depends on if she stays relevant in the Marvel storyline from here on out or not. Who knows?
Yeah.
Thor was a little strange.
Yeah.
Funny but strange.
It was a little strange, because you always think of Thor as, you know, he even says, like, I'm the strongest Avenger,
Yeah.
he's the biggest, the toughest.
And now he is just the biggest.
Yeah, now he's the biggest. He's like, got big, fat, and depressed.
I mean, it's not like Asgardians can't. You have...
I know, but it just didn't seem in keeping with his character, because he uses all the pain and all the loss to fuel his vengeance, you know, his anger, and
He has...
that's what he used, or tried to use.
But he lost, which he hadn't done before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And maybe that's why.
Yeah, I think
Because
that's...
he tried it and it didn't work.
Yeah, I think that's why, because exactly what you said, it didn't work. He had no possible way to get everyone back. or to actually win. There is no possible way, as he saw. Because, like, a few characters say, don't make me have hope again. It's messed up.
Yeah.
They already went through that, and they've tried to move on.
Yeah.
Okay, talk about Thanos.
Thanos in Infinity War was... Okay, I'll start off by saying, from the first appearance that you see of Thanos, in the end credits of the first Avengers, he's... I don't know, you get this one grin from him.
And he seems pretty sadistic.
Right. And all you know is that the thing with the 7 fingers or whatever, the thing with the 2 thumbs, I guess that's 6 fingers, whatever, is like his underling.
Yeah.
And Thanos is the boss.
And
that's pretty much all you know, and that he's trying to
and that he caused the attack on New York.
Right, which leads you to believe that he's this evil being that just wants to create chaos and destroy.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the other end scenes and credit scenes, little blips into Thanos' character.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a great example.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, the scene with him in the chair and him with Ronan just leads you to believe that he's this absolutely, horrible guy. And in Infinity War, I was expecting him to, trying to kill everybody and rule the world, this power-hungry tyrant. And he was like, I want the world to be peaceful and everyone to like me, so I'm just gonna kill half the people so the other half can survive. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then Endgame came, and he finds out. So then he decides that instead of getting everybody's favor for destroying half the planet, that he's just gonna kill everybody.
And start anew.
Because it'll make him happy.
Yeah. And he takes on the true title of Mad Titan.
And so
he is mad.
Then I felt like the character of Thanos finally came...
Almost a twist for his character.
No, Infinity War was more of a twist for his character. It's like he was like all evil and stuff before Infinity War, and then Infinity War came and you're like, wait, what? He wants peace, he wants people to survive, what is going on? And then in Endgame you're like, okay, this is who everybody thought Thanos was.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely who I thought he was to begin with before I watched Infinity War.
Yeah.
Tony's dead for good.
Tony is dead.
Tony had a good death.
Yeah, very much so. Honorable.
He was kind of the godfather of the Avengers.
Yeah, very much so.
He helped create them. He helped bring them together. Even though Captain America was like the leader of the Avengers, he called the shots and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Tony kind of molded the whole thing.
Very much so.
And so it was appropriate that he would save them. He would be the one to save them all by sacrificing himself.
And you know what's interesting? I just now thought about this.
It's kind of out of his character, though, because he, all this time, is, this egotistical,
Not really. It's not that far out of his character.
Yeah. How long did we wait in line? An hour?
Oh, yeah. We should have talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
We showed up for a 6:30 showing. We showed up at 5:30, and the line was 30 feet out, maybe?
Yeah, there was probably about 50 people in front of us.
Yeah.
Roughly 50 people.
And by the time we started walking into the doors, the line was halfway across the mall. It was nuts.
Not halfway across the mall.
I don't know.
That's an exaggeration. So when we showed up, there was about 50 people in front of us. By the time the doors opened and we were going into the theater, there was probably another 50 people behind us.
If not more.
Yeah. There was a lot.
We had a pretty good...
actually, to be honest, the whole theater wasn't filled. It wasn't? No. It wasn't a full theater. Nope. All those seats in the front were still...
Really?
They were a lot open.
I didn't notice that.
And, which is quite the opposite of Age of Ultron, which every single seat was filled. Which is surprising because we haven't been to a movie with the entire theater filled since then.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think before that movie have I ever been in a theater that was completely filled.
I bet you, though, if we went on Saturday
True.
around 1...
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Well, whenever this comes out, who knows?
Yeah. On Saturday around 1-ish, it would be a full theater.
Yeah,
I bet you anything.
that's true.
Because we went Thursday night.
Right.
And we should say it's a 3-hour-long movie, so don't drink a lot of water before.
Right, yeah. A bathroom break is critical.
Yeah.
I mean, not critical.
You could...
but a bathroom break is...
You could not understand the entire rest of the movie if you took a bathroom break at some parts. Right. It would be really bad.
And we got in line. There were some people sitting on the ground playing Scrabble in the 7:30 showing.
Yeah.
So they still had like 2 hours to wait. But it was kind of awesome to see such dedicated fans. Also, the whole entire theater experience was really awesome. Being in a 6:30 showing the day before the release date, showing
pretty respectful.
All the dedicated fans were there, and every time that a character would show up on the screen
that had come back
from being dusted, you could hear one person in the back, yeah, and it was like their favorite character, and then another character would come back, and someone else in another part of the theater was like, yay!
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
Excuse you.
Yeah,
Thanos too.
Also, I meant to ask you about this yesterday, but after,
Stop picking your nose.
Do you think that the Russo brothers watched Hishy? Because they mentioned baby Thanos.
Yeah, you're right.
They definitely did.
They did, you're right.
And I bet Hishy is so proud of that.
I bet they are.
I bet he is.
I can't wait till...
Oh, he's gonna mention it in his next,
You're right.
When he does how Endgame should have ended, he's gonna mention it.
Yeah, you're right.
Or, he does movie reviews, too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't done one of those in a long time.
If you haven't heard of him, or you know a little bit about him, How It Should Have Ended is a channel on YouTube of a guy who does...
Guy and a couple other people.
He does movie reviews along with what he's most well known for is cartoonized adaptations of movies where he basically says, this is how it should have ended.
Yeah.
And it's comical, it's funny, but he does a lot of Marvel movies. He also does DC and regular movies too, really famous movies.
Mm-hmm.
But they're good. You should check it out. Subscribe to him. Just Hishe.
Mm-hmm.
But he mentions in there that the way that they should have killed Thanos in Infinity War is Doctor Strange changes back time so far back that Thanos turns back into a baby. Yeah.
Kills him.
Yeah. Of course, he doesn't say that in Hishy. Yeah. But they do in Endgame.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were just like, yeah, let's mention it.
Yeah. I bet that the directors watch Hishy. They have to.
I can't remember which director does, but a really famous director has mentioned it before.
Yeah, because he mentioned it, and he was really proud of the fact that they mentioned it in one of his movie reviews, but I don't remember which one it was. Yeah.
I think it was James Gunn for one of the Guardians movies.
Really?
I think. I could be wrong on that. You're right. You're right. They totally did mention baby.
Yeah. With a peach face.
Yeah.
You ever think of that?
How come there aren't any albino Mickey Mouses?
Why is Mickey Mouse have a bald face and a black body?
A bald face?
Yeah. No, his face is like this shape. Like a clover shape.
Yeah?
And it's peach. So he's like bald.
No, he's like Sonic, where he's got peach snout and peach eyelids.
No.
But he's still got hair on his head. Ears.
On top of his head, but he has a bald face.
Not like he has a mohawk. Oh, weird. I thought he was more Sonic-ish than that.
No. Yeah, see, he has a bald face.
He's all shaved.
Yeah.
Weird. Maybe I'm thinking of the old Mickey Mouse.
The old Mickey Mouse is terrifying. Yeah, look up, original Mickey Mouse or something like that. Or Mickey Mouse from the 20s.
Weird.
Whenever it was. 20s, 30s.
There you go.
Is this Mickey Mouse with a comb over? Oh yeah, his eyes were all the way black. That's not. That's like 80s. That's like 80s Mickey Mouse. No, look up the original.
That is the original.
Was he made up in the 80s?
No, it wasn't made up in the 80s.
I know, he was older than that.
Made up in like the 20s.
Is this the original?
Yes. Steamboat Bill.
This is like...
That's like Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I thought he was scarier than that.
No.
Maybe I'm No, I'm thinking of costumes that were trying to be Mickey.
That's nightmarish.
This is horrifying. Tune in next week for a podcast where we play music.
Yeah, coming out on your Friday.
Yep, on your Friday.
Yeah.
Sorry this one was a little bit late, but we had to make an exception for Endgame.
Yeah, because it is actually a good movie, and
it's
you
a
all
big
should go see
deal.
it. Very big deal. No movie has ever done anything like this.
Yeah.
Or culminated anything like this either.
100% recommend. Go watch it.
Yep.
Go watch it a second time. Make it break all the records.
Yeah. You also forgot to mention any flaws. Are there any flaws in this movie? There's bound to be some. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, War Machine didn't die.
War Machine didn't die, and Hank Pym looked weird.
Yeah.
Those are our biggest flaws with the movie. I'm sure there's more, but it's a good movie, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to point out all the flaws. They're there. We just didn't really recognize them at first because, you know, we're invested in the story, the characters, and it's good, and you should watch it.
Yeah.
Do it right now. Stop listening to this crap podcast and listen to...
Don't diss us. See you next time, folks.
See.
Watch Endgame because it's awesome.